Hi, Stephanie. How are you?
Hi, Professor Myers. How are you?
I'm good. We're very fortunate to have Stephanie Wahlers come and talk to us today. And Stephanie works for, we were just discussing this, which is it's the hardest thing in the world to figure out how to say because it's this vast ecosystem. But Stephanie works for an emerging and quickly evolving ecosystem. And I wanted, first, Stephanie, I'd love it if you kind of spoke to that industry and what's involved and what's entailed.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. Excuse me if I ramble a little bit, but yeah, it's such a new industry that it's really hard to put into words, so I'll try my best. Basically, to give a rough history, maybe 40 years ago, 60 years ago, a lot of the current culture was, or culture at the time was influenced by people believing in institutions like NASA, US government, CIA, right? Which then quickly evolved into people were very brand loyal with like Home Depot versus Lowe's or Walmart versus Target, that kind of conversation. And what we're seeing now is the industry that I work in, it's twofold where there's a lot of content creation going on and then also a lot of influencer management, which then goes on into like, I think a lot of the brands now are being influenced by a lot of content creators who are advertising on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok and you name it, right? There's new platforms coming out every day, like the new one Dispo, just created by David Dobrik. Um, so yeah, I mean, I would say that the industry that I work in is not only managing content creators, but also really building them up as business people and entrepreneurs.
That's awesome. I know we've kind of seen content creators, especially recently, kind of morph across channels, for lack of a better way to say it. So we're seeing YouTubers on TikTok, and they're actually becoming TikTokers first and YouTubers second. Taking that material they created there and recording it, and then putting it on YouTube after the fact. So it's pretty interesting because for someone that was around 40 years ago, unlike yourself, it was you could see, movie people were movie people, and they didn't dare do television, right? And so over time, that kind of broke down. But it's been really interesting to kind of watch this evolution. And every time I turn around, especially the pandemic, seems to have accelerated things rapidly, right? So,
Yeah,
and you currently work for a company called Night Media. Can you tell us what Night Media does?
yeah. So as I was saying, with the whole content creator management, influencer management, talent management, whatever you want to call it, um, there's a ton of companies that do very similar to with what we do, and they're all great. You have Talent X, which was recently just acquired. They have Sway. You have companies like WME and UTA. They're kind of old dogs in the space, and they really know what they're doing based on time, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I think what really sets Night Media apart and what I really enjoy about the company and what I really like waking up every day and doing is it's not just about money, right? You're building brands around these creators and you're getting to know them as people and their passions and what charities they want to work with and all that fun stuff, right? And so I would say that we have a really deep relationship with everyone here. So when you're talking to our clients, when I talk to our clients and I work with them, it doesn't really feel like necessarily a working relationship. It feels like I'm talking to a friend and like, how can I help my friend succeed?
Nice.
Yeah. And on that note, like, I think it really makes it a lot easier when that content creator really strives to want to do more. If you're a YouTuber and you're churning out gaming videos a week and that's all you want to do and you're making more than enough money to live and make your family happy, that's great. We're not really looking for that here. We're kind of looking for that person who wants to take their brand to the next step. And that's how you get Mr. Beast Burger. And that's how you get, I think we're working on a few other consumer products for other clients. And it's not just out of our creation, it's because they really are passionate about these products. They want to make something that's more than just their channel.
You bet. Yeah, it's funny. My son, as you know, loves Mr. Beast. Thank you for the swag. He would really
Yeah, of
appreciate
course.
it. Wears it with pride. But it's interesting to kind of see, you know, um, this new drive of other than it seems to be changing from I want to be famous to I want to have an impact. And so managing the talent, as it were, has got to be much more fun for that than simply, oh, I just need to be famous. So get me on the cover of everything and anything I can, be a part of, right? So
Yeah.
that's got to be a pretty pretty cool thing. So what do you do for the organization?
Yeah, so currently my position is talent coordinator or yeah, influencer coordinator. Basically, so we have talent managers across the company that have their own list of clients, and my manager Nick really focuses on just so happens that it's a lot of gaming clients. So across Minecraft and Twitch streaming and variety games, like Among Us was huge for us in Q4. I'm sure your son
Yeah.
got really into that community too.
Yes, he did. Yep.
Yeah. So what we do is that while my manager Nick is focusing on a ton of higher level stuff, forming LLCs and being in these conversations that are like, okay, Carl, Mr. V's talent team,
Yeah.
what do you want to do with your merch? Like, let's have a conversation about it. And then so my side of the team would be it's a ton of execution. Like I'm gonna be honest, sometimes I'm so deep in the weeds day to day, just
Yep.
doing logistics and answering emails, and it's sometimes just a whirlwind. I mean, obviously it's all fun, but sometimes it is just, hard, I guess, to see the overall picture just
Yep.
because since this industry is changing so rapidly. So I would say that definitely, I mean, obviously everyone in the company works really hard, but coordinators are really, really good at executing.
Yeah, I was going to say coordinator's got to be the busiest person on the planet at this point because that,
Yeah.
again, that segment has really exploded, right? So it's very, very different. It's funny when lots of other things have been shut down because of pandemic. All of a sudden, it's like, no, we're open and we're doing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've had creators start new channels, and this whole time now, I think tomorrow is the 1 year anniversary of the pandemic for us in Dallas. Really, really sad anniversary, but we've had a ton of creators sign on to the company. We had people start new channels and new avenues of business. We've had merch lines come out. And so it's been more like we're more busy now than we were even before the pandemic. It's really, really crazy. And I think a lot of that speaks to the accessibility. Anyone can watch it on their phone, right?
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, listen, I really appreciate you taking the time. I forgot to mention Stephanie is a DU alum, and that's the only reason she called me professor. She is not required to call me that. So, but thank you very much for taking the time and sharing your passion and expertise for this industry. It's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.